Good morning, everyone. Myself, Roshni Kalra. I'm the student of economics. On the behalf of my whole group, I would like to thank the professor for this great opportunity. I would like to introduce you all with my topic, that is Shein, Shein's growth, and the various other allegations and challenges that are faced by the company from the perspective of microeconomics. Well, to start with, I would like to introduce you all with my company, that is Shein. Shein is the fast-growing, ultra-fast fashion retailer in the world. It ships more than 220 consumers in the countries and the regions worldwide. It specializes in women clothing, accessory, but also deals in children and menswear and in other ratings also. It is a $15 billion company, but it is popular amongst the Gen Z and the millennials. Now, Shein is facing many allegations since past few years, that is the pollution, copyright infringement, and the others. So I would like to talk about the methodology. Can you please do the next slide? Yeah, thank you. Well, to know this way, this brand and this company was suggested by Subdeep and Amandeep. All of the research was done and is done and is based on to the latest news published articles and related to it, such as these articles were taken from CBC News, New York Times, and others. These graph plotting analysis is done from the perspective of microeconomics. I would like to hand over to Subdeep for the brief introduction. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Deep and I am an economics student. As we know that our project is based on economic study of on Shein company, in which I would like to explain the demand and supply curves. That is how the company grows from 2008 to 2023. As we know that when this company started the business in 2008, the demand of clothes was very low and the supply is also low. Look at the figure 1. D1 is the demand curve and S is the supply. But after the impact of social media advertisements like on TikTok as well as on Instagram, its popularity increased. So that's why more and more people started to buy clothes from this company, which means demand increased. That is the curve of demand shift from D1 to D2. And it also increased the equilibrium. It also changed the equilibrium position. That is from E1 to E2. Then the company raised the prices of clothes with the constant supply. That is from E1 to E2. But shift to the next slide. Yes, but in order to enter in competitive market, company increased the supply. That is from S1 to S2 to keep the prices as possible as low. That is for maintaining the price. So this was all about the company growth from 2008 to 2023. And now next part explained by Aman.
Thank you. Here, my name is Amandeep Kaur, and here I would like to talk about the part of my small order quick response. Actually, it is a business strategy that focuses on providing a wide range of fashionable items on a reasonable price, as well as the items are too much stylish for the customer. So this is the only company which help. This is the only strategy which helps to the Shein, which helps to the success of the Shein. In this, if we see your first graph, in this there is a S1, which is a supply curve, and the another one is a D, which is the demand curve. So in this, there is P1 is the price. When we increase the price of the any product, then it will also affect the excess supply, such as when we increase the supply. If we see the demand curve, in which we plot a Q1, and on the supply curve it is a Q2, and there is a difference between them is called a excess supply. So in the another graph, when the prices of the product is decreased, then it also decreases the excess supply. So to tackle this type of problem, there are two principles introduced by the Shein company, such as the first one is it makes small batches of the product, which will not allow the product to peel up. And the another one is they introduce a clearance sale, in which the prices are lower to raise the demand and reduce the inventory of the dead stock. So this is all about my part. Then I would like to hand over the next slide to the Akash.
Thank you, Mandeep. So moving forward with the next slide. Now we saw the growth of this company. After this company is facing serious challenges and allegations from various different companies or countries. And we'll see what are the impacts of these allegations. So the first allegation that is put on this company is the company is using a loophole of a law that has been designed by US government. So the law is de minimis taxes. So the law states that if a product is below $200 price, then there will be no import duty applied on the product. And this value of $200 was increased to $800 in 2018. So Shein is using this principle or this law to save the taxes. And we already know that if the taxation is applied, if there is no tax, then the supply curve is discolored and the prices are lower. But as soon as the tax is applied, the supply curve shifts upwards, and due to which the prices increase. And this deadweight losses experienced by both consumer and supplier. And due to the application of the tax, the burden of tax has to be proportionally shared by supplier and consumer, which is indicated in these two graphs. So this is the impact of taxation on Shein. The next allegation made on the so it is basically not the allegation, it's a strategy, is the low price. So Shein is very famous in the market due to its low price costing. Okay, so the products that Shein sells are always low cost, and that is why they are popular amongst the Gen Z. So we all know that fashion industry is imperfect competitive industry. It is not the perfect competitive. So to maintain prices in the imperfect competition is a huge challenge. So here we can see that if it is an imperfect competition, the price is set where the equilibrium is set where the marginal cost and marginal revenue intersect. That is this point. Now, if we can reduce this marginal cost to the lower point, we can reduce the price of our product. To reduce the marginal cost, the average total cost curve has also to be reduced. Now, as per the articles and reports, we find that Shein is using a strategy of giving its production to the developing countries where the production cost is low. And due to low production cost, the average total cost comes down, and which increases the profit even if the cost of the product is low. So this is how the Shein is maintaining its low price strategy. The second strategy that Shein should implement for keeping the prices low is the range in which it should keep its prices. So there are two types of cost for any product to be manufactured. One is the fixed cost, the other is variable cost. And the combination of fixed and variable is the total cost. So this curve indicates the total cost, and this curve indicates the variable cost. Now, if a company wants to stay in the market, it should be able to recover the basic variable cost. So if Shein want to stay in the market, the costing should be near about point number one or above one. Okay, for the short term. Once the Shein gets popularity, then it can go beyond 2 and earn the profit. If it stays between 1 and 2, then the variable cost is recovered and some proportion of fixed cost is also recovered. But if it goes below this, then it will be a market failure for Shein. So that's what regarding the pricing strategy. Now I request Rakshit to move us further.
Hello everyone, my name is Rakshit and I am an economics student here to delve into the intriguing exploration of how negative externalities can impact industries, specifically in the context of pollution, forced labor and copyright infringement. In the next couple of minutes, we'll uncover the economic complexities, the repercussion and of these externalities that they bring to the fashion landscape, and as keeping the Shein as my main source of research. Can you please turn to the next slide? So starting with the advantages, we've observed that copyright infringement, while ethically questionable, can lower research and development costs, allowing firms to replicate designs and expedite production. Likewise, negative externalities like pollution, forced labor can lead into temporary cost reduction and influencing price strategies. Can you turn to the next slide? However, delving deeper, these advantages are accompanied by significant drawbacks. Pollution, for instance, contributes to environmental degradation, resulting in regulatory interventions, reputational damage, and even potential legal consequences. Forced labor allegations do not only raise ethical concerns, but can lead to lasting reputational harm and legal action against the companies involved for the forced labor they have done. Copyright infringement also diminishes the brand integrity, undermines innovation, and it also invites legal disputes. Now, I would like to explain everything through a graphical representation. Let's consider a company named ABC Limited. I'll tell you how, like the graph goes, that this is how a normal company works, and we'll then discuss how Shein works in the case. Let's consider a company named ABC Limited. The primary source of this graph is generated to describe the product's pricing, where the research cost is involved, workers are fairly treated and paid, and all the environmental regulations are kept in check. We can see a point X, which is a point where we can observe where the company has made its initial investment, keeping all these factors in mind. Initially, the production cost is higher because the production is low, the product is in testing stage. However, if you talk about the long term, the cost decreases and it definitely meets the marginal cost. So if you talk about Shein, they just overbear all those other expenses, and their prices were as low as the marginal cost, or moreover, even they were profitable. That's why they are facing several implications. Now let's talk about the long-term impact. Please turn to the next slide. Considering the long-term impact, pollution has far-reaching consequences. Stricter regulations, shift in consumer preferences, and potential financial penalties. The association with forced labor can lead to permanent reputational damage, impacting brand loyalty and future growth. Copyright infringement erosion can strive industry's innovation, creativity, and it disrupts the long-term sustainability. Can you please just turn to the next slide? So if I talk about what is the way ahead, where does economics guide us on this path? The solution lies between the delicate balance between the economical advantages and the ethical considerations. Policymakers, businesses, and consumers must collaborate to address these externalities effectively. Implementing regulations, conducting thorough supply audits, respecting intellectual property, and fostering ethical practice are some of the key factors to help to mitigate these negative impacts. Can you please turn to the next slide? So last, I would like to conclude that as an economics student, I emphasize the importance of understanding that how these externalities and what economic implications they have. By fostering ethical responsibility, we can drive a positive change within the fashion industry. And moreover, if a company like Shein practices these kind of good practices, they would definitely be profitable because of the large user base they have right now, but also have a good impact on their brand reputation, which they have a tiny little bit. So I would like to hand over the last slides to Akash, and he'll describe about the references and other stuff. Thank you.
Thank you, Rakshit. So at the last, these are the references that we have used for our findings. So we referred the articles from various news medias, and out of which the data that we have used is collected from these four articles. And also, to study more in detail about the industry and its growth, we have used Statista, which is a very famous tool, and we thank UCW for providing access to this Statista. So this is Appendix 1, where we used the Statista to find out the growth in the number of users, which can be seen in this graph. And the next appendix is the growth in the revenue. That is also visible, and we can say that, or we can clearly say that there is an increase in growth, as discussed by my friend Sukhdeep, in the market of Shein. So that's all from our side. I thank all my group members and Professor Charity for giving us this opportunity. Thank you.